I am Wild Bill.
And I am Kelly, the Weather Girl. We're glad to have you along with us today, and we are taking you to Seward, Alaska, one of our favorite places.
Yes, Seward is a spur off the one highway that goes to Seward, and kind of like Homer, it dead ends there.
Right, and it's so gorgeous. If you've watched the movie Frozen, you know that movie is, I think it's in Switzerland, but it's in a fjord where the mountains come together in a crevice, and it never freezes in Seward. The water never freezes in Seward, right?
That's right.
And so Bill, of course, knew all the hot spots to go on our Alaskan trip when he had our kids with us this time. And reporter I'm like, hey, honey, if you see anything that looks like a great story, let me know. And so when we went to the Hotel 360 right in downtown Seward, we were planning on going on a tour on the water. And I said, if you see anyone you think that would be good to interview, let me know.
And I have the unknown skill of picking people of authority. Okay. So, of course, I picked Tom out and I said, I think that's your guy right there.
Yeah.
And then you approached him, and sure enough, it just rolled from there. And again, it was one of those that we stumbled upon it, and what an interesting story from Tom. I mean, we would have never guessed it. He hosted a president of the United States.
Right. But this time around, when we go on a tour at Hotel 360, we take the major marine tour and we meet Captain Justin, and we actually get to take a ride through the Kenai Fjord National Park.
Which is, I'm not going to say it, but there was an event in there that happened that Tom commented on that rarely ever happens.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
And of course, we're just going there. Oh, we're thinking, okay, yeah. Dial in the animals, okay? So it was just interesting how it occurred.
Right. All right, check it out.
You don't always have to be standing to take a shower.
Bright sunny skies. It's so humid and hot.
In the Defender, and we are riding right now into the rain. Let's take a look at that.
Back on track.
How long have you been in Alaska, Captain Justin?
This is my 14th summer up here now.
Sorry, at what point are you from here?
That's a good question. I think when you buy a house, I think you're from here.
When you buy a house?
Yeah.
Where are you taking me?
We are heading right now. We're kind of in the middle of Resurrection Bay. We're going out into the open Gulf of Alaska, and then we're going to turn into another bay called Ialik Bay, and back there's a couple tidewater glaciers.
Nice.
So.
You're going to see, number one, amazing geology. You'll see the wildlife in their natural environment, and of course the number of animals varies. Different types of animals in the spring. We have the gray whales that come in, and then we have the orcas that follow the gray whales up. And right now the orcas are feeding on the silver salmon that are here in the bay, because it's all about the food.
2 years ago, I was on a little bit smaller boat driving that, it's called the Viewfinder. So I was driving the Viewfinder. We went out a little bit further than we usually go, and we came across some orcas. So naturally, I stopped the boat, and they were coming kind of close to us, so I turned the engines off, and we just kind of waited a little bit, and they were down for a little while. And then all of a sudden, we noticed that they were shooting below the boat. They were swimming back and forth. And the closer we looked, we could see like a salmon swim by one direction, followed by the huge orca behind it, and then another salmon swim in the other direction, and the orca right behind it. It was so fun watching them actively hunt.
Yeah.
Right below us.
Right below you.
It was insane.
That is great. I'm a meteorologist, so for me, I like to talk about the weather. It's gorgeous today. We're in the 70s with partly cloudy skies and light winds. So tell me what weather's like out here.
And light wind is really nice because we're going to be going into the open Gulf, and if it's really windy, especially coming out of the east, The seas can get pretty big sometimes, you know, but it should be nice and pretty flat today, so I'm really excited about it.
Well, the weather in Alaska is especially in the southern edge, is very temperate. We have maybe 10 or 15 degrees cooler than Seattle. Because we're on a bay that's 600 feet deep, it keeps the moderate temperatures here year round. It's very unusual to get below zero, and so we get a fair amount of snow. Sometimes we'll get up to 8 feet of snow during the winter. But it usually snows for a couple of days, and then it warms up and rains for a couple of days, and we don't get the sustained cold like you do up north in Fairbanks or Denali. In the interior, you have 100-degree temperature change, because you can go from 70 above to 30 below in the interior, and more extremes on that. Or in the winter, during the coldest part, we'll get rain, and it'll sit on the top, and then we'll get a really cold night, and it'll freeze, and you get an inch or two of ice, but nothing significant. And then the next day the sun comes out and melts the ice, and it goes away.
We're going out into the open Gulf of Alaska, and then we're going to turn into another bay called Ayalik Bay, and back there's a couple tidewater glaciers.
Nice. So far we've seen sea otter and an eagle, and we're hunting down some orcas.
We're trying.
You call them big fins, huh? Is that the conversation between captain and captain?
Yeah, we kind of have code names for different things, because a lot of the smaller boats have open wheelhouses.
Okay.
And if you start saying, orca on the radio, then people get excited and you might not find them, or it might be out of range for certain boats. So yeah, we have code names.
Good. What are some other code names?
We call the humpbacks wide guys.
Wide guys.
Wide
all right,
guys,
all right.
yeah. Orcas are also known as sea pandas.
Sea pandas, I can see why.
Yeah.
What a dream job, Captain.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you come from North Dakota. I don't know a whole lot of ocean there.
Not a lot. But I always joke and say that's where the really good captains come from.
Oh,
so.
is that right? Okay. What made you want to do this job? Tell me a little bit about your story.
I had a cousin who came up here one summer, and he fell in love with the place, and he told me about it. I said, yeah, that's something I would like to do, at least for a summer.
Sure.
And then I kind of fell in love with it, and then just kept coming back.
You started as a deckhand then, I hear.
I did.
All right.
Yep.
I talked to Tom earlier, and he said everyone starts out on the bottom,
Yep.
working their way through the whole thing. You fall in love with it.
Yeah, definitely.
So what kind of experience do you have to be able to drive this boat?
I have a 100-ton near coastal captain's license. So I'm able to take 100-ton vessels out of protected water. So that's where the near coastal part comes in to play. So
I'm from the Great Lakes, so there's big water, but not this big.
Yeah. Yeah.
As we're standing here, you could hear it groan and see it move. It moves actually 3 inches per day, and we're watching parts of it calve off. That basically breaks off and goes back into the water, and you can almost feel it before it happens. From the water level, it's about 400 feet in the air, and it looks blue, doesn't it? It looks like it's blue, but it's actually, that color is just all the colors of the rainbow in there. That snow, the ice is so compacted that it creates the color of blue, because that is the color that's the most highest frequency of the rainbow. And so that's why our eyes actually see it as a blue color. As you can see from over my shoulder, incredible view.
Well, the glaciers, there's no question that the glaciers are receding. They've been receding for hundreds of years. If you go back to Captain Cook days, the glaciers across the bay here, that whole valley had a glacier that came right down to the bay 300 years ago. And you can go out to Exit Glacier out here, and they've got the dates, that the glacier was here in 1800, and it was here in 1830, and it was here in 1850, and there's no question that the glaciers are receding, and very few of them are advancing, but generally the glaciers are receding. You can argue over what the cause is and all that, but unquestionably, We're seeing warmer temperatures, and we're seeing the glaciers receding in a dramatic way in the last 30 years.
Yeah, all these mammals are protected, so we want to be real respectful to them, keep our distance, be mindful of how we approach them, how we view them, how long we view them. All the captains work together, so we're not all on one whale at one time. You know, we kind of space it out, and just be as respectful to the wildlife as we can.
Yeah.
Don't want to disturb them.
How many miles is this circuit we're doing today?
Probably gonna go roughly 80 miles round trip. Yep. So these glaciers are just massive ice flows, right? So we have a lot of ice sitting up in these valleys. And when we get warm days like this, the warm temperature, that warm air is hitting that cold ice, and that it just creates its own weather system. It just kind of funnels this air right down the valley towards us.
What's it called?
Katabatic wind. Yeah, it's a katabatic wind.
What do you want to tell anyone back home, Justin?
I want to just invite everybody to come up here to Alaska. It's an absolutely beautiful place, and it's so gorgeous and so rugged that I think everybody needs to see it.
What a view. Best seat in the house.
It is. It is. Yeah, not a bad office view.
That was such a beautiful tour.
It was very interesting and a strong finish. Let's put it that way. We were like in the last 15 minutes. It was a very, very strong finish.
Yeah. I know that the weather, of course, in Alaska is usually up and down. You just really never know what you're going to get. But boy, our weather that day was absolutely stunning. It's a little bit breezy out on the boat, but wow, it was a beautiful day.
And we get continuous feedback of oh, Alaska, oh, it's cold, right? You're gonna go there, you're gonna wear your snowmobile suit. It was not like that at all. If you recall from the video, is that I'm in short sleeves.
Yeah, me too. I was in short sleeves at times too.
So
it was just breezy out on the boat, but you'd expect that out on the water. I really thought that the naturalists on board, or the captains and the other parts of the crew, so knowledgeable. And you could tell. We were in the helm with the captain, and he was telling us all the behind the scenes, as you heard. And it was really fun to see how they coordinate with each other.
I think the other thing that was interesting too is that kind of where I align with the captain is you heard about it and you went there, right, to Alaska, and he invites everybody to go to Alaska, and we do too, right? Is that's what happened to me. I mean, I got bit by the Alaska bug, and then some people get serious addiction and get bit by the gold fever.
True.
I haven't got that yet, so I'm fair. Just the Alaska bug.
I think we do have the island fever.
Yeah.
We do have the island fever for sure in Alaska. And I love that part about Justin's conversation, and it did remind me of you. He does really want people to see Seward, and we want you to see the whole state, but it was really a beautiful trip.
And he came back.
Yeah.
He came back and progressively became a captain.
One other thing, I thought the pricing for the Major Marine Tour was fantastic. There are several different kinds of tours you can take, right?
Right. And Tom talked about that you can take the 4 hour, the 6 hour, the 8 hour. I've taken the 4 hour before. I've taken the 8 hour, and the 8 hour really gets you out there.
Yeah. My favorite part of that tour not only was seeing wildlife, we did see the whales, right? That's wonderful. But I really loved when we went out to the Ialik Glacier and we just sat.
Yeah.
That was really beautiful.
Yeah. And you can only experience it if you're there, but when the ice is moving, it sounds like a shotgun going off, or a shot, and it's like, and then it echoes. It's its own unique sound to a glacier.
Yeah.
I can't compare it to anything else.
And we live on water that freezes in the winter, and it has its own language as well. It groans in the winter. The ice groans, but there it's so different. And the captain pulls up as close as safely close to the glacier, and just turns the engines off and tells everyone, let's be as quiet as we can. And what an amazing experience for that whole group of people, just to be quiet together and to listen to nature. That was incredible. And then what was really sweet was we kind of saw some little skirmishing going on to the, not skirmishing, but little movement onto the one side of us. And we look out, and this young man had come to a specific spot up by the helm, and he brought his girlfriend up there.
And he proposed to her.
That was so cute.
Yep.
Everyone clapped. It was wonderful because she said yes. Yeah, that was very beautiful.
And we all love a story with a happy ending.
All right, speaking of happy endings, we got people to come along with us again, don't we?
Yes.
All right. So
Always.
hit that subscribe button. You really never know what adventure Bill and I are going to go on next.
Farewell, my friends.
Ooga booga.
You don't always have to be standing to take a shower.
Bright sunny skies. It's so humid and hot.
In Defender, and we are riding right now into the rain. Let's take a look at that.